During the last hour of the morning show, we warned you about scams that use your weight loss goals to their advantage. If you missed it, pills and plans that guarantee instant weight loss are often just too good to be true. Now, we want to take a closer look at the healthy way to diet. Joining us this morning is registered dietitian John Vredenburg with UF Health Jacksonville. John, good morning to you. Happy New Year. Thank you for coming in.
Happy New Year.
Let's just start off with the things we want to get out of the way. There are so many diet trends out there that people constantly see all over the place, especially on social media. What are some of the dangerous and unhealthy ones that we need to just knock off our list?
Yeah, so great question. I think anything that calls for an arbitrary elimination of an entire food group or an entire nutrition category like carbs or fat or grains or dairy without any medical indication to do so would be a very big warning flag to avoid.
Okay, so anything where you think you're going to lose 50 pounds in 2 weeks.
Right, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And anything like with, very rigid limitations, there's a carnivore diet where you should only eat meat, or there's the juice cleanses where you're just drinking juice for a period of days. Those are not nutritionally sound. They're not sustainable, and they're not healthy for you either.
So let me ask you this, John. When is a diet not working, and how can you recognize those signs to say, this one's not for me? It might work for others, but not for me.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously the most obvious one is you step on the scale and it's the same number. That would be one warning sign. But really, the symptoms that worry us as health professionals would be irritability, exhaustion, constant fatigue, sleep disruptions. Those are signs that your body may not be getting the right nutrient mix that it needs to perform optimally.
All right, so now let's talk about the positives here. What are some of the healthier ways to lose weight?
So again, I really try to put the emphasis away from numbers on the scale. Okay. So not using the scale as your ultimate barometer of how successful you are with your nutrition journey, but look at healthy behaviors. So maybe choosing to dine out less often or to limit sugar-sweetened beverages. Those behaviors we know can help support healthy weight loss, and we have a lot more control over those. There's a lot of things that we don't control with our weight, so looking at just the number itself isn't going to be the best end result for us.
How you feel.
How you feel.
How you perform when you're working out, exercising.
Right.
Your mood.
Right. Do you still like your life? Those are some of the things to remember. The best diet is going to be the one that's sustainable, built around largely fruits and vegetables, lean sources of protein, and foods that you enjoy. That's going to be the best diet for you, and it's going to be different from person to person.
There are some people that say, look, I cut out the sugary drinks. I don't really eat a lot of fried food. I stay away from a lot of the bad stuff, and I'm not getting healthier, or at least noticeably healthier. What do you tell them?
Well, I think it's important to understand that those specific food choices and food behaviors have been shown to demonstrate improvements in a lot of the things that physicians look at in terms of cholesterol, blood pressure, fasting blood sugar, but also reiterating that it's not always going to be reflected on numbers on the scale. Look at how your clothes fit and your energy levels and things like that that are not so sensitive to a specific number on the scale.
Yeah, finally, I want to ask you about something. When it comes to when you eat, does that make a difference? A lot of people are doing intermittent fasting, for example.
Yeah, when you eat, it's really just a function of your schedule, your personal preferences. People have shown to have great success with intermittent fasting because they're shortening their window of time to take in calories, which usually means they're taking in less total calories. So metabolically, it's not harmful to the body at all. As long as you're if you're going more than 18 hours without eating, that's where you really start to see a ramp up of irritability and fatigue, things that are going to really not put you in your best position to succeed. But, again, intermittent fasting may work for some people, may not work for everybody. The best advice, though, is to talk to a credentialed expert, whether it be a registered dietitian or medical doctor for advice, and try to avoid social media as the barometer of nutritional guidance.
If in doubt, talk to a professional like yourself.
Correct.
You said increased irritability. I'll just say hangry.
Hangry,
in
yes.
common people terms out there.
Very hangry.
All right, John, thank you so much for coming on representing UF Health Jacksonville.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.